big ups to the creative investor for actually calling this out about a week or two ago, right? He was talking about this potential breakout for ticker symbol AMC quite some time ago. He kept on giving warnings in his opinion, right? So big ups to you, my bro. Good deal. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an AMC technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Friday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, team, so let's go ahead and just pull up the receipts over here. Okay, team, so what I'm going to show you here is actually something that I mentioned to you on that very popular video that I put up, which actually has around 10,000 views. It's the AMC to $190 target, right? So the statistical review. But within that video, I mentioned a couple things that are very important. This is just a few months ago, right, team? So let's go ahead and pull that up here and just give it a quick listen. So check this out. It makes the test number 5 of this larger formation be realized. It's the second most likely breakout point too. We have test number 1, 2, 3, 4, fake out. And then that test number 5 is about to happen. And the cup is taking us to that target as well. So yeah, team, that is essentially what I'm looking at here, right? We were already talking about that $9.90 target, right? It was actually $9.90 back in a few months ago. But of course, the top side of the target that we reached was about $8.90? Let's see, it was $8.80. Okay, team, so this was based on a breakout, right? This was the test number 5 of the smaller formation here that was suggesting for us to validate our support before a continuation onto the upside. Now, the retracement that we're facing is also needed, right? So we also do need to come back and validate here. Since we already got this broadening descending wedge validated at that support, we also need to get the larger time frame validated with that support too. Now, with this happening, there could be two possibilities here, okay? Either we get the support right away, right? We come back down to the area of around 665, 680, and we start validating this area. I mean, by the way, we already reached 643 in the after hours today, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to count that since it was after hours. Or the second possibility is that we rip to the upside and face the traditional take profit of this broadening descending wedge. Okay, so that would lead us to around the area of about 1046 or 1043. Okay, so if that's the case, then we would pull back massively here and then come back and potentially validate this. Remember that if FOMO applies, everything that I'm saying here is invalidated. Everything that I'm saying here is invalidated, and the price action would lead to exponential highs of which we don't even know the possibilities of, right? So what I do know too is that apparently we're not fully out of the deal here, right? So the judge did say that it's the judge did rule that it's a bit unfair, right? So for the retail investor, so they're in the process of maybe trying to get the whole deal of the conversion of the equity unit into Class A common stock to be invalidated entirely, right? So that's huge, right? That's huge for the retail investor, because in this case we may have a chance to be able to get back what we have lost for years, including me, right, team? So that's literally my first trade ever executed on August 22nd, maybe. August 22nd or August 26th, right around there, 2021. And my official starting date of trading was August 16th, 2021, when I was exposed to whatever AMC was doing. So, and I mentioned today in today's live stream early in the AM that we were noticing some negative reviews coming up of AMC, right? This was, let's see, where was it? Let's see, stocks. Man, I want to show you this thing because they were talking their crap, right? How it was, they were saying that it's not, let's see, yeah, no, not that, right? So, geez. I forgot where it is, team, but it doesn't matter. We were noticing it on the live stream, and there was some bad news coming in saying that this is definitely not something that we want to invest in, or nothing at all. Nothing like that. It's funny that it was coming in today, And I mentioned to the stream, actually Samantha H, right, my moderator, reminded me. She said, no, you said this, right, during the stream. You actually said that it's good news when they're coming up with this bad news, right? So that usually is indicative of a potential upside. And then what do you know? You know what the curious thing is too, is that it actually averaged down for the first time in 2 years at 3:49 p.m. Pacific, which is just before which is just before the run. So I don't know how that happened, team. I don't know why, but it was there. Or I'm sorry, it was a 12:39. One of that. It was right before the run. I averaged down for the first time in 2 years. Brought my cost basis down like $10. Right? It's funny what like $100 can do, right? So, and then this thing runs to the upside. Very curious thing there. Okay, so yeah, team. As far as the play here, this is it starts to reach a really gray zone, right? Because the technicals, sure, all of that stuff may indicate a continuation to the upside and all that, but this is going to be in the hands of retail here. It's going to be in the hands of psychology. And what I can say is that if there are massive take profits from professional traders, then whatever I'm seeing here, they are also seeing too. Okay, so if they can see a potential short scalp starting from 1043, they will take it, right? But also longs, I'm talking the ones who don't know the technicals and just for some reason decide like, oh man, this thing is reaching $8, $9. I'm gonna miss it. What if it goes to $1 million? Or right? Of course, it's really unrealistic to say that. By the way, don't do that. Okay, team. So what they say? What if it goes to forever to the upside? I'm gonna just enter now, right? So they enter around $10, like they enter and they're whales, right? So they'll just buy whatever. That'll invalidate every short happening, trying to get a short scalp here, right? Trying to bleed or trying to siphon from the market anything here as far as the ebb and flow, right, up and down. So if I were a short seller, I would stay clear. I would steer clear away from an asset like this when experiencing such good news, right? And I mean, if we're getting the news that there is the consideration of the consideration that this is unfair for retail. If we're getting news without actual confirmation, what do you think is going to happen when we do get confirmation? This thing ran 100% in the matter of like 11 or 12 minutes. So, yeah, I'm just saying that if you're a short seller, I would consider heavily, not financial advice, to close your paper trade. All right, team, get out of this. Get out of this immediately before you incur more losses, because this right here, this can present infinite losses for short positions, okay, team? So keep an eye on that. I would really express a serious danger here. I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how else to iterate with you, right? But it's just massive time frames right now are suggesting, wow. Yeah, I've never actually seen, this is the first time I've actually seen this in volatility, team. This, whenever we're printing blue bars like this, that indicates critical volatility or critical contraction, right? So now when we are faced with a red bar, that is critical expansion. I have never in my life, and you'll see it here too, right? I have never in my life seen a bar printed right next to each other like this. This is explosive activity happening, team, and this I don't even know what to tell you. But let's see, that 12-hour candle at the end of the day is 57 million shares traded. That is crazy. That is just I don't even know what to say about that, man, because the ones prior to that are like 556,000, 300,000, 16 million, 300,000, 11 million, like 15 million. And then we have, bam, 57 million traded. This is crazy. I don't even know what's going to happen on Monday, team, but there is a hype. I know that a lot of people are going to say, well, the traditional fuckery is going to start again, and then you're going to bring it back down, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, I mean, whatever it is just, volatility and momentum are not suggestive of that whatsoever. So if we can pull up the stochastic momentum oscillator here, you can see that on the 12-hour time frame, we're barely getting that upside started here. So that is and getting close to the gravitational zone of the bearish control zone. So this is highly likely to get pulled to the upside here, team. So now if we look at the 4-hour time frame, which is usually my minimum time frame to consider any type of upside moves, is this. Notice how the EMA 3 and the SMA 14 are within the bullish control zone with an upside pivot, and we are at critical expansion right now, team. That is highly indicative of a continuation to the upside as well. Bi-hourly time frame repivoting towards the upside even after facing a drop from 880 to 643. We have critical expansion here as well. Hourly time frame upside pivot, even this one too. Despite the fact that we dropped to 643, it is still in the bullish control zone with an upside pivot, critical expansion. 30-minute immediate short-term time frame showing a little bit of an ebb and flow right here, team, but it's in the bullish control zone. Okay, so this is highly likely continuing to the upside as far. Oh man, what is curious here is that, okay, if you are a trader in TradingView does not display the price action of which happened in the post market. Okay, so the daily time frame, I mean. So 12 hours and below, you'll be able to see the post hours price action, right? But not anything within the daily, okay, and up. So please notice here that the daily time frame was already a critical contraction and suggesting an upside here. And also notice that this is crazy because we're now looking at what was happening right before the pop, right? So please notice here that we were already getting that curvature from the exponential 3 period in the gravitational zone of the bearish control zone. This means that we were about to face a cross here, and this was about to make its upside anyway. Okay, team, despite the fact that this was already, making its way to the upside, despite the fact that we got the 12 hour is what I really mean, of the after hours upside pivot, this was already set to continue on to the upside anyway. Mathematically speaking, team, whenever we are at contractive levels of extreme measures here, this usually, and mathematically speaking, is set to expand into into expansion, right? So it'll expand into showing that there are more shares being traded, right? And this volatility paired with momentum with an upside pivot, that would give you the bias for direction since volatility is direction neutral. Okay, team, so that is what I'm looking at for ticker symbol AMC, and there is quite the story here to actually look at. Now, also check this out. This is the algorithm that we actually just remastered and released, the updated algos, right? So go ahead and notice this. Remember that the daily time frame is not showing us what happened in the post market, right? So we had already a long signal here printed on Friday, this Friday that passed last week. So we had that long signal here, and please notice that we had a short signal printed here, and look at how close it was to this opening here, right? So we got a long signal printed 463 from ARCa, right? So now we got that short signal printed right over here it was almost going to be a negative trade, right? So upon this short signal here, it had you cover at the opening of this candle here for a short-term profit because we have a long signal, right? So why did we get a long signal here on the daily time frame? And then also, why did we start printing? We don't have any of this what would be considered green versus red, right? So I mean, in my case, I'm looking at cyan versus magenta or something, right? So notice this here too. We started getting a green bar on ARCa here right away. This was literally getting close to the power hour. Right, so this was getting close to the power hour of 2 days ago. So why are we getting this long signal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, and we're also getting this green print saying that there is an upside coming in, and then we get this pop today? So ARCa was pretty dead on with this, team. This is incredible. If you are interested in acquiring these indicators, please go ahead and get in touch with us. The promo video in the front does have the email listed, and it will be displayed at the end of this video too. Okay, team. So I just want to say that there is an enormous amount of variation here, and I do suspect this to continue onwards and upwards on Monday, as this usually when we do get these closures like this, team. Green closure, especially in the magnitude of which was faced today, that presents a psychological beat to all of the investors that have been currently facing all this downside pressure for the last couple years. Remember, AMC and GME are the OGs here, team. So I am coming straight from there, still holding that terrible position, right, team? So let's just see what can happen. Please remember that none of this, guys, I need you to take this into deep consideration, okay? None of what I'm showing you here should be taken as financial advice whatsoever. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever, okay, team? But with that said, I wish you well a very, very good night and weekend, and I will catch you at the bell on Monday. Adios.